It's a good ball played in for Tony Morley. Oh, he missed it! It is! Peter Wood! Villa in the lead!
Hello, good afternoon, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to the Villa Forever podcast. I am your host, Chad Williams. Please subscribe. Help me to the road to 2K. Make sure to smash the likes on this video. And you can follow me on all socials. On today's episode, I'm joined by my Monday show regular, Aaron Thornton, who's the host of the Football Brief. This is the match preview. I'll be doing the pre-match talk show. I'll be looking ahead to Europa League action. Aston Villa versus Young Boys. Thursday night football in Europa League. It is a 5:45pm kickoff. And Aston Villa are looking to get another step closer to knockout stage football. The current more towards the end of the league phase. Only a few games to go. There's a game under the lights at Vill Park against a team who we beat in the Champions League last season. Also yesterday on Super Sunday, Aston Villa come back from a goal behind at Ellen Road against Leeds United, and the clinch victory at Ellen Road, and they sit fourth in the Premier League table. And Aston Villa capitalised on the other results that went their way as well over the weekend as well, including Man City losing and Liverpool losing. At the moment, it's such a good time to be an Aston Villa fan, and I'm really excited for the next few months ahead. It's great to have the show again, Aaron. How are you?
Oh, mate, it's good to be back. It feels like it's been a long time. So thank you for having me back on, and it feels even more special after seeing your recent interviews with the amazing guests that you've had to be sort of back in this space. So well done to you as well, mate. You've been doing some really good things on here. So it's been good to
thank
watch.
you.
It's been good to watch.
There's a real big that's amazing that this channel's come a long way. It's amazing to see.
I mean, credit to you, Chad. It's all the hard work you put in and the persistence, and it's starting to pay off. So just keep going, because it's things like this that keep a lot of us sort of motivated and keep us going through dark times, negative times. So it's a good escape. So yeah, thank you, mate.
Well, let's talk about yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm still absolutely buzzing after yesterday. The fall for the Premier League title. Because we beat Leeds, and thanks to Arsenal, we sit the little fourth. I'm obviously over the moon about it. So what are your thoughts about the game like yesterday?
Yeah, I managed to watch. So it was Daddy Daycare yesterday. So my wife was working, so I had a 1.5-year-old. So she was watching it with me. So I did catch all of it, but obviously there was parts where I was having to tend to her. So there was moments, especially in that first half, where I thought it's going to be one of these games where it was just so stop-start. The pitch didn't look great. It sort of reminded me. The commentator mentioned it as well. It was a bit of a throwback to like a classic '90s sort of game. You know, the two decent sides.
Very thorough.
Yeah, and I honestly, after that first half, I was struggling to see where we were gonna go with it. And once again, Unai and his little tweaks, his substitutions, I really do think made a massive difference. And then obviously a bit of Morgan Rogers magic sprinkled on top.
Yeah.
So I was over the moon with the result, because it's sort of one Ellen Road, regardless of where they are in the league, is always.
It's such a hard place, because Ellen Road, it's a real hard place to go to, because their crowd are very sort of hostile. So it was going to be difficult. The crowd were on top of you. We dealt really well under that pressure.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Chad. And especially after recent years, there's been a bit of, there's no bad blood between us, I don't think. But in recent years, especially in that championship game where, Bielsa made them give us the goal, I think since then.
Score a goal, that was it. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was a real goal over that game.
Yeah, so I think there's always been a bit of that going on. So you're completely right, mate. It's a hostile place, a tough place. So I'm glad that we went in, did our thing, got the 3 points, and then we go and now we sit fourth, which is where we want to be. We want to be around those places. So I was
Champions
absolutely.
League.
It gave me a proper spring in my step yesterday, mate. I was so buzzing with that result. So buzzing.
Do you get the first half, I think? We didn't really get going. But also, like Leeds United, they're lucky that none of their players got sent off. A few times they were very sort of dirty. I don't know what you thought, but there was a few tackles. But fair play to the referee. He took zero tolerance. He didn't stand for it.
Yeah, I thought as much as the game was stop-start, which was really frustrating, I do think the ref, he was okay. John McGuinn put a funny social media post up after the match, and he was getting thrown around, and he was getting it quite a bit, and there was a few decisions that didn't go our way, and you're going to get that in the Premier League. We're used to these officials now. That's you get some, you don't get others, and yeah, it was a tough game. They were very aggressive, and I thought I was worried that we're going to just sink to their level and we're not going to play our game. And
what do you make of that goal? The one that was allowed by the referee, because on another day that might have not been given. Because number 14, a minute, what was his name? The guy.
Metcher.
That's it. Yeah. In an offside position, I thought. I know it said that it was offside, but I wasn't sure it was onside, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I wasn't completely sure with the offside, but I'll be honest. I thought Martinez was weak with the I think it was an error in the first place on his part. It might have been offside, but throughout the season we're going to get some our way. We're not going to get some, and it's probably not the best attitude to have. But I feel that that's just sort of the way it goes at the minute with officiating. So it was a scrappy goal and an annoying goal to concede, because I actually thought up until that point we actually started okay. We were sort of containing them to a point, and then they got that lucky goal. But it was Martinez again, a bit of a silly error, but then he made amends for it later on in the game with an outstanding save. So
Yeah. So I was actually impressed with Ollie Watkins. He's doing everything apart from scoring. Yes, he worked really hard yesterday. Got some good areas. I thought he made some good passes as well. Good link-up play. That's what I liked about him.
Yeah,
He seemed like himself, I thought.
Yeah, I think I tend to agree with you. I think he definitely stretched them to a point, and he was trying
better. Led the line better.
He was trying to make things happen. Yeah, I didn't really see the link up between him and Rodgers that we've seen over the sort of past season or so. I thought I wasn't too sure about that link up. Look, he always works hard, Ollie. And we've said it numerous times on this podcast that we really rate his work ethic. What do you like? It must be tough for a striker, because mentally, look, regardless, we need him to score goals, don't we? And I know his work rate's great, and I know he runs the channels, and he does do a lot for the team other than score. But what do you think it is, Chad? Because this is the longest sort of spell that he's had that I can think of where he's not scored, and he doesn't. Whilst there are improvements, he doesn't look himself. What do you put that down to?
I think it's confidence. I think the confidence seems to be really low. I think. What is anything since last season? And also you had John Duran. You look at Watkins. He always seems to play better when he's got competition.
Mm.
You just know what it is, but for him, it's not good enough for acquiring standards. And also, we're into a World Cup here.
Yeah.
He needs to be scoring, otherwise he ain't going to get in that England squad. But, well, that's what yesterday is. But, he actually guided it a go. Don't tell me that he got shot from distance. Look at
Yeah.
it, easy creeped in that top corner. But as a striker as well, I think he needs luck. I don't think Watkins is getting much luck either.
That's really, well, you said that really well. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I do think that, he just needs something to like deflect or bobble in, doesn't he? And then just sort of hopefully that can get him going. Look, I believe in him, and look, if we're fourth in the table now, and he's not scoring, if we can sort of keep this momentum and get him scoring, then that's going to be really good for us, hopefully. So we'll see, but I agree. I think he worked hard, and he looked, he did what he could.
I mean, look at Harry Kane does on the way that, Harry Kane when he scores. Plus, the way as well that Harry Kane's got vision.
Yeah.
I sort of think sometimes Watkins seems to do that. But that's something. But also, I'm surprised with Watkins. But actually, I thought he was going to leave in the summer. Let's actually think a lot of people did think he was going to leave. So maybe, should be a sold him, I don't know.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. I think there was a few that could have gone potentially, or were told that if an offer comes in, they can go. And I think he was certainly one. And there's a lot of reports back in January as well, saying that the Arsenal move sort of fell through, or because we sold Duran, we weren't going to allow Watkins to go. So, and I know that's his sort of boyhood club, isn't it? So whether that was on his mind or he's, I don't know with Ollie Watkins. Look, I think he'll score and go on a bit of a run at some point? Yes. Could this be his last season? Who knows?
Yes. Again, that's the game. I think the first half Leeds didn't allow us much time to settle with possession. And I was so honest, but in the second half, we were much better, I thought. We took control of the game. We showed more intensity. That's what in the second half. Also, Unai Emery, you're going to give Unai Emery credit. The substitutions, he always seems to make them at the right time. The substitutions spot on again.
Yeah.
Bringing Marlon and Martin, they realise the impact.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, correct. Yeah, he like you said, the first half. I thought Leeds were good. The first half, I thought they did what they could, and they sort of nullified us, and they really played to the crowd and to their pitch. And I thought we struggled. And then second half, like you just said, then Matson and Marlon come on, and that sort of shows that. Right, we're going to attack this game now, because Matson's an attacking fullback. Marlon was the perfect fit for this game. A bit of aggression, someone a bit dogged, putting yourself in there, and straight away you could see straight from kickoff he was just like an absolute pit bull. And
he's very dynamic, Martha, and he gives you injection of pace.
Yeah,
and that's what we needed a bit, and he completely changed the game. That was a lovely cross.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, Marlon and Rodgers, they've got a very good understanding of each other's game, I think.
They do, and I think what Marlon does, he unlocks that. He allows Morgan and Watkins to a point. He allows them to sort of have a bit more freedom, because he occupies a couple of defenders, because he's just so unpredictable in where he's going to run to and where he's going to go. Defenders have to mark him, which then frees up space for Rodgers and Watkins. And I totally agree. I think that Rodgers and Marlon link up is much better than the Watkins and Rodgers link up. And I think that cross was at first I thought it was a deflection or like an own goal. But then when you see it, like what a lovely flick that is from Rodgers. It was
Quality.
beautiful, and that was right at the start of the second half, just when we needed it, and it just really set our stall out for that second half. Then, right, this is what we're going to do now. This is how we're going to play, and I think it shocked Leeds a bit, and they got knocked back a peg. So, again, Emery, great substitutions, and again, he did it again as the second half went on, bringing on Barkley, Sancho. He knows when to make those subs, doesn't he? And
what it is, Aaron, as well, it shows the quality of our squad depth. We have such a quality squad. We have so many options we can bring on. That's what makes it every team special. You can turn a game on its head with the options we've got.
Yeah, you've got and you've got players like Harvey Elliott who can't even make the bench, and like you just said, it shows that we've got a squad. And I'm really enjoying Barkley when he comes on.
He's direct.
Yeah, he's direct, and he sort of has multiple roles, because yesterday he was sort of brought on as this. He was sort of like a number 10 in a way. He was sort of there, but he reminds me when Manchester United had Bastian Schweinsteiger, and Louis van Gaal used to bring him on to sort of kill a game. So just to keep the ball, slow the tempo, just pass it around. And Barkley sort of reminds me of that type of player at the minute with his role. And I'm enjoying him. And again, Sancho coming on is just another threat. I still think we've got a lot more to see from him, and hopefully he'll get the minutes that he needs. And squad depth is good. Everyone looks healthy. So mate, just a very, very well-rounded performance.
Emery and his team, he looks versatility.
Yeah.
He looks players that can play in different number of positions. As well, going back to Daniel Marner.
Yeah.
I watched much a day last night. I think of it what Danny Murphy was talking about. About like Marlon's movements. Like he tries to out position, like the fella's don't know what to do. He's very clever with his movements. He's very lively.
He's very clever. He's very direct, and I think you were really spot on with what you said. He has that injective pace. All of a sudden, he just turns and he goes, and because he's just pure muscle, isn't he? He's just an absolute ball of mass. So like once he starts going, like there's no stopping him. And he really gives us that option. I do think we need to see more of him. Like I know we can come on and make an impact, and that might be his best sort of introduction. But I do think he needs more minutes because he deserves it. Like he gives us such a different option.
Yeah. Let's talk about Morgan Rogers.
Yeah.
And he was outstanding. He was. Not only is he going to be going to the World Cup, he's going to be starting for England in the World Cup. But also, I think Rogers is back to his best. Rogers is really enjoying his football, you can say.
Yeah, he's got a smile back on his face, hasn't he? And, he's performing for club and country. And I agree with you. I think as long as he keeps up this sort of form and stays fit, then it's his place to lose, isn't it, really, in the England team? And again, we've got to give credit to Unai Emery, because I've been guilty of this.
Yeah.
You've been guilty of it, there was a time at the start of the season when we thought, he needs a rest. He needs to be taken out of the starting lineup. And it wasn't because we thought he was a bad player. It's just because clearly he needed a bit of time. He just looked tired and looked like he needed a bit of a rest. But then Emery's clearly spoken to him, and he's played him through the sort of hard times. And now he's sort of hardened him a bit. And here we are. Yeah, he's just. Yesterday was sort of an accumulation of the last few weeks, getting better and better and getting back to the levels. And I thought he was outstanding yesterday, and the goals were just,
world class.
Yeah, you can't. It's no average player can do that, especially that free kick. And very special, very special.
What's a free kick? It was like a knuckleball, that was. Like, you didn't still touch it anyway there, but we have to give credit to Austin that day, because he was even applauding Rodgers. So, obviously, they've been working on that in training.
Yeah, and I think he was saying after the game, wasn't he, that Buendia is the one who's good with that technique, and Rodgers said, I've been trying to learn off him and practice with him when I can, and when I saw that he wasn't on the pitch, I thought, yeah, I'll give it a go. I know I can do it, and wow, it was. I don't know. I had a feeling as well when he was stood over it. I just thought, there was just so much space on that side that the keeper had left.
Yeah.
I was like, if he can get that over the wall, game over, and it was beautiful. Yeah.
And Rodgers, like, is constantly carrying the ball forward for his team. But in other words, while Rodgers have got a bit more stronger, like, he stays, like, the way he stays on his feet. And all of the way he controls the ball, like, sort of in very tight spaces. That's what he can do as well.
Yeah, it's unusual, isn't it, for sort of a tall guy to be sort of in that number 10. You usually associate that sort of free role, number 10 role with like a smaller, like a Bernardo Silva or a David Silva maybe, or that sort of player. But Morgan, because of his height and his strength, he holds on to the ball really well, and he's good with his feet, isn't he? It's it's such a good asset to have when he can carry the ball so far for us. Yeah, no, I really do rate him, and I'm just glad that he's back to the levels. Hopefully now he maintains. We don't want him to sort of burn out or struggle again. Hopefully,
the other thing as well, I hope we keep him.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think if we get a Champions League this season, I know he's just signed a new contract, but that means nothing these days. It just means that he'll go for more money, doesn't it? Because I think there's a lot of clubs circling. I think Jacob.
I think Liverpool were interested. I think.
Yeah, I think Jacob was saying, wasn't he, before, there were a lot of clubs in the summer monitoring him, big clubs as well. So I think that's why we've probably because we only tied him down last year, and then we tied him down again. Yeah. So I think if we get Champions League and he goes to the World Cup, I think there's no reason why he'll want to go, because he's playing at a high level.
There's Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
I think he could be just as good as him. He's got that sort of ability, a bit like get into that Real Madrid in the future.
And that's a massive compliment. Yeah, Jude Bellingham is an amazing player, and I could easily see him playing for a team like that. If Madrid or someone came in, I mean, people might think we're talking, we're probably going a bit ahead of ourselves. But honestly, I agree with you. He's got that. He reminds me a bit. Do you know when Gareth Bale, right? Bale, he was at Tottenham, and all of a sudden, within 2 or 3 seasons, he just physically he got bigger. He looked more athletic. He worked on his technique. Rodgers he gives me that sort of vibe where he works at himself a bit. He's only 23, so he's going to get a bit bigger. I honestly think he can go far if he keeps. And he seems to have a good mentality. That's the big thing. It's how you look after yourself mentally and have the right people around you. And I think he's got a good set of people around him to keep him level. So yeah, I really, really rate him.
One more thing before we go to predicting lineups.
Yeah.
Also, John McGuinn. He's really pushed that performance. John McGuinn yesterday, actually, I quite enjoy his performance. I think the team like Leeds, it suits him. I know a few times he got clipped with Leeds, a few of the fouls. He kept sort of getting us higher up the pitch, sort of winning fouls for the team. And, his winning corners, he's got a real foot. He always has that fire in his belly, John McGuinn.
Mate, yeah, he's got that Scottish fire. Shout out to Scotland as well. I am part Scottish, and I was very, very pleased with that.
Congratulations to them. Yep.
Yeah, what a result. So shout out to Scotland, really, really pleased. But no, mate, John McGuinn, you're exactly right. That sort of game where it requires a bit of physicality, a bit of tenaciousness, and getting that aggression, that is perfect for him. And he's just, I just love John McGuinn. He's such an important player for us, and he's such an icon. He's becoming an icon and a legendary figure within our club and our history. And I know we're going to touch on the video later on, but yeah, he was just magnificent and really gets the team going and driving. Really good.
Yeah. So we're going to the predicted lineups there. So I'll get the graphic on screen. I'll get my team up first.
Yeah.
We've moved to the predicted lineups for Thursday.
Cool.
So there's a team that I've gone with. One little discussion about it. So I want you to make a mind to this. The one I've gone for Thursday. Martinez I've gone for.
Yeah.
He played in the last Europa League game.
Yeah.
And in the Tennessee game, actually, Victor Lindelof. He played at right back, and I thought, give him Matty Cash a rest.
That's a really good idea. I was thinking about, I was unsure about right back because I agree. I think Matty Cash could do with just a bit of a rest for the big game against Wolves, but I didn't know. That's a really good shout with Lindelof, mate. I like that.
They've got Bergard and Kamara.
Yeah.
They'll sit in the defensive midfield role in that double pivot.
Yeah.
Then I think Ross Barkley has to start.
Yeah.
He deserves a start.
Agreed.
He actually draws quite further forward, Ross Barkley.
Well, Chad, if you think about it, he was the one that won us the free kick that Morgan Rogers scored. It was his drive into the box, or just before the box. He got clipped, and then he won that foul. So yeah, good point.
And Jadon Sancho was very lively against Tennessee. We can't be Tennessee, so I think Sancho should start.
Yeah.
I actually like the way he plays. Look, combined well with Morgan Rogers.
Yeah, I agree.
And also, I didn't go for Ollie Watkins. I'm going to decide to put Watkins on the bench. And then Watkins can come on as an impact off the bench. I just think Daniel Marner needs regular minutes. And he's just been playing well. Every time he plays well.
I can't argue with that team, to be honest, Chad. I mean, mine is slightly different, and I've got reasons for that. But looking at your team there, you justified that front line. I get it. Barkley deserves the minutes. I think he's ready now to start, as he's sort of been slowly integrated back in after his return to fitness, and he's looked good. Marlon up top, I understand it. Sancho, Rogers, Kamara, Bogard in there, because I think you're like me and Anna. I think he may be rested, just to give him time to recover for the Wolves game.
The book is he still injured?
Who's that? Sorry, Anana.
Anana, he only been back for the weekend though.
I think he'll be back for. I think he could probably play against young boys, but I do think it's a game that look, we lost to Go Ahead Eagles, so I don't want to take any game for granted. I don't want to come across complacent, but I do think we have enough without Anana to beat young boys. So I think he'll be fit for Wolves. I think he'll be fit for this game, but I do think Emery will decide to just leave him for Wolves, because we're going to need, the Premier League at the minute. We're doing all right in this league. If we can win against young boys, and if we can really get another win against Wolves on Sunday, that'd be massive. So I do think Anana could be crucial for that. So I think he'll be fit, mate. Yeah.
Let's go to your team then, Aaron.
I really like your team there, mate. Good team.
Thank you. So Aaron, can you talk me through your thinking of your team?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to be a bit, out there with it. So I really want to see Bizot again. And I just think this sort of game, I know we can't take anything for granted, but, he's not like Olsen. I do feel safe with him in the sticks and in between the sticks. And I just think, to give him some minutes, I would like to see him. So that's why I've put him in. I've taken out Konza just because I know he had a bit of an issue with the England camp, had to come home early. I know he played yesterday, was fine, but I thought,
cautious with injury, not being cautious.
Lindelof would be a good replacement. But after seeing what you did with Cash and Lindelof at right back, I do like that as well. If Andreas Garcia's fit, excuse me, the other right back, I would happily put him in, but I don't know what's going on with him. So
Yep.
I've gone for Cash just because that's all we have. Matson is self-explanatory. Pau Torres, again, we don't have much cover, so we need him. I've same with you, Kamara and Bogard in that holding sort of role. And then this is where I guess we're slightly different. I've got Rodgers in, whereas you've got Watkins. You've got Rodgers. I've got Watkins. I just want him to score, man. I just want Watkins to get a couple of
He
goals.
needs a goal. Yeah.
I
For his
think
confidence.
this sort of game, with Barkley in behind him, Barkley can pick a good pass. Obviously, Tielemans is around as well, but I think if we can start Tielemans on the bench and just, he's just come back to fitness, let's not rush him back too much. Sancho, the same reason as you, and Marlon has to start for me. And I do like when Marlon and Watkins play together because Marlon, you think about that Burnley game where Marlon just, they play really well together and Marlon just had the run of the pitch. So,
Well, Aaron, do you think we might see more of Daniel Marlon and Watkins together?
I would hope so, just because the blueprint's there, Chad. That Burnley game where, and I know it was a one-off game because that was how Burnley played, but I really thought Marlon and Watkins played well, and even yesterday when Marlon came on, like you said rightfully, he occupies so much space. He gives Watkins a bit more room. So if Watkins is going to score more goals, I do think that will be down to having Marlon on the pitch. So I would hope to see it more. Yeah.
Because with Daniel Marlon, he can also play off Watkins, sort of behind Watkins to get in. Give him support.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Chad. I think a lot of our front line can be quite interchangeable. So like Marlon can go up front. I know Watkins doesn't want to be on the wing and we want him up front to score goals, but sometimes he can push out into the channels and Marlon can come more central, and with Rodgers in there as well, he can do that. So like they are quite fluid up top. So hopefully we see a bit of that, and I just want him to score, Chad. I'm a big Watkins fan, as are you. You've got his top in the background.
He needs a goal. He needs that goal, yeah.
So if we can get a couple of goals before Wolves, get ready for Wolves, then I think we'll be better for it. So yeah.
And also Bogard. Bogard's very consistent, I think. I think Bogard actually very underrated. All the work that he does in the team goes unnoticed. I think with Bogard, he keeps it simple. And he's very reliable with possession. Look, for a young player, and also I like the way he's getting extra minutes in the Europa League.
Yeah, I totally agree, Chad. He's ticking along nicely, Bogard. I think Unai Emery and the Aston Villa staff are really managing him well with his minutes and with his game time. And I think that, like you just said then, I think he's getting a lot more minutes in Europa League, but he's also coming on in the Premier League. He started a couple of games in the Premier League. And I think he's just, for his age, for where he's at developmentally, I think he's getting the right amount of time. And I agree with you. I've been very, very impressed with him. And do you know what I like about him? He seems to be like a bit of a sponge. Like, he really seems to be taking on the information.
I mean, Emery, I think he's willing to learn. He's always willing to learn. Yeah,
exactly. And you want students of the game like that. You don't want petulant players who are like, well, I should be playing. Do you remember we had Carney Chukwuemeka a few seasons ago? And again, another promising prospect who I believe is doing quite well at Dortmund now. But if he had that mentality like Bogard right now and just, believed in it a bit more and just sort of like let the managers manage him, I think he may have been a better player for it. So, look, I could be wrong, but I do think that's what stands Bogard in a really good position. Is
his dad. Bogard's dad watches him at Villa Park.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's somewhere in the Trinity, I think.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it makes a difference.
It does definitely make a difference.
Yeah. So no, that pretty much a similar team to you, Chad. Look, will Emery go for this team? Probably not. I don't think we've ever got it right, have we? Yet with these predicted lineups, I think there's always been a couple of players.
Close.
We've come close, yeah. So I'll be intrigued to see what he does on Thursday. But I want that Watkins goal. My big thing for Thursday is I really want Watkins to just get his goal, 2-3 goals, but just get that first goal, man. And
Stop the drought.
Yeah, exactly, Chad.
We're moving on to the graphic then, so we're going to the next bit then.
Yeah.
Also, can you get the next talking about just Oh yeah, so let's talk about young boys. So, Aaron, do you know much about young boys?
Do you know, Chad? I'll be brutally honest. Like, I don't know. I know that I know of them. I know them. They've been in the Champions League for the last few years, or for years since I was young. Actually, I remember seeing them play. Obviously, we played them last year, so my only knowledge of them is from when we did the sort of preview last year with them. And that's about it. I know they're, in the Swiss league, they've won, I think is 16, 17.
One of the most successful Swiss clubs.
Yeah. So they're no pushovers, man. And they seem to be like a nice club, a sort of historical club. So
we should still win. We surely will win at Vill Park.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'm under no illusion we should win.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you a few facts about young boys. So, they've won 17 Swiss league titles.
Yeah.
Also, one of the most successful Swiss football clubs. The best they've done is in the European Cup. They got to semi-finals in the 1958-59 season. They were founded in 1898. Do you know the reason why they're called young boys?
I don't, Chad. No, like I don't know. No, it's an unusual name.
Yeah. I'll tell you the reason. Well, the reason is, when the club name was, they intended to mimic the name of a Basel-based club. This Basel-based club, they were called Old Boys. So what it is, they wanted to change the name. Yes, there's another team that were called Old Boys. So they're not where the name Young Boys come from.
That's okay. That makes sense because it is a very unusual name, and I never understood or thought to look at it, Google it. So I'm glad that you. That's interesting. Well, I've learned something today. Thanks, Chad. That's good to know. Okay.
And let's remember as well, last season we beat them 3-0 as well. Look at their place. Okay. I remember it was like opening Champions League game.
Yeah.
It wasn't long after Gary Shaw passed away.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. I remember it because, like you just said, it was our first Champions League game, and it was
looking at in the big time. Yeah.
Gives me goosebumps now thinking about it, mate. Genuinely, because it was such a big moment for our club and for us fans. And I remember Yuri Tielemans opening the scoring, and then Jacob Ramsey scoring.
Was it Onana with a screamer? Was it?
Yeah, Onana got the screamer. Yeah, Onana got the third. I think it was 3-0. But yeah, no. So young boys, weirdly now hold a bit of sentiment because of that game last year, because it was the first game back. So yeah. Yeah, what a time.
Because we know a lot about them, so at least we know what they're all about already. We played them last season, so Emery knows what to expect how they play. And tactically, what the game plan and the approach should be.
Yeah, exactly. You won't. I don't think they would have changed too much from last year. Again, I don't fully know, but I think they should be a fairly similar outfit. So, in terms of preparation and research from Emery's standpoint, it should be relatively straightforward. But look, my big thing at the minute is with this go-ahead Eagles game. Really, sort of.
You can't take anything for granted in the competition.
You can't. You have to be on it, and I think.
Well, you can't take Europe for granted.
No, And look, and like you just said then as well, young boys, they're well accustomed to Europe, whether it's Champions League or Europa League. They know their way around it. So they're no pushovers, and they're a team we've got to be cautious of. We've just got to go and be professional and do our job. So I do expect the win, but I don't think it's going to be just as straightforward as we think it will be.
Also, in the nice atmosphere, the Swis fans are very passionate. I can imagine I'm bring a good crowd with that. It's will be a lot better experience. For the Tel Aviv game, it'd be a nicer experience.
Yeah, a stark contrast from the Tel Aviv game, I'm sure. Are you going to go, Chad?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to what it is. It was originally the Tel Aviv game. Obviously, I didn't go to that because it wasn't safe. But I didn't have enough time to claim the young boys ticket. But I'm going to the Salzburg game instead.
Oh, okay. No, that'd be a good game. Nice.
In January, I'll book tickets for that instead.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that'll be.
I'll watch it on TV.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you, mate. That's what I'll be doing. Oh, actually, it's Thanksgiving over here, so hopefully I will. I don't know.
Also, got a few more facts about young boys. So, the manager is Gerardo C-O-N. Did I say C-O-N, I think?
Yeah.
Then also they felt the effects during the financial crisis, during World War II, which you can imagine a lot of clubs back then would have.
Yeah.
And you got their nicknames, obviously YB, and Young Boys Forever is the other one.
Young Boys Forever.
So very different. It's good insight, though.
Yeah, that is good.
So, let's talk a little bit about Thursday evening. What do you expect for the actual game? How do you think it's going to plan out?
I honestly do think it will be relatively routine for Villa. I think it's a nice game at home to have under the lights. Like you just said, I think whoever starts is more than capable of overpowering this team. I think Emery was going to really sort of drill into them that this is an important game because we want the momentum carrying in, following Leeds and then carrying into Wolves on Sunday to really consolidate that sort of top four.
Momentum. You got the momentum, keep the momentum going.
Yeah, so I think it's I like these Thursday games because I think it really does, rather than having a week in between, it allows us to keep that momentum going and keep playing and keep trying things. And so I honestly think it'll be a nice game for us. I think we'll win. I do think it'll be comfortable. That's what my heart's telling me. But like I told you, I'm slightly stung from the go-ahead Eagles, so I'm not going to be too complacent. But I think we'll get it done. So looking forward to it.
It's a huge opportunity.
Massive.
Emery, another chance getting close to getting through to that knockout place. Only a few more games to go with that competition. And also, I think Emery knows what to expect. I expect it sort of like they're going to have a lot of men behind the ball, I think. It's important we be patient because look at the Carmi to the Dave guy. What we've got to do is we've got to move the ball quicker. So, like playing with the tempo. That seemed to work last time. And set pieces, obviously. Keep focused defending. I did say, in the game we played against them last season, they've got a lot of height, I think.
Yeah.
In that team.
Yeah.
That's what we've got to be mindful of, I think.
That's a good point. Yeah. Look, I think if as long as we can come through as well, sort of unscathed and no injuries, and a clean sheet would be lovely, wouldn't it? I'd love for us to keep a clean sheet, and also just for the players.
I'm going to say one as well. Yes, they're playing for the low block, I think.
Right. Okay.
Don't young boys? That's what I think.
Yeah. So that's something that's we've I know we've struggled in recent months breaking teams down with a low block. I do think we're much better now. I think we've sort of got that. We've got that back. But I'm really hoping that the players who don't get many minutes in the league really take the opportunity and perform. I'd love to see Sancho get a goal. I'd love to see Watkins get a goal. I'd love to see Lindelof keep a clean sheet and Barkley to be running around a bit. Like I just want to see, these sort of like these players just to have their opportunity and just really sort of grasp it. As
so
well.
Impressed anyway.
Yeah. And like you say, like this is in terms of the league phase, this is a big game because another 3 points just really keeps us up there in that top sort of 6 bracket, where we currently are. So huge game, mate. And if we can win it and keep that momentum, it'll be really, really good for us.
Good to see it, I actually read that if Aston Villa finish in the top 8, we get a home tie in the knockout stage. In the last 16, we get a home tie.
Well, that's good. Did that happen last year in the Champions League or not?
Yeah, that's it. The same thing. Yeah, same thing happened. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Where are we currently in the?
I don't think where we are. Is it like? Don't you see where we are? I don't want to get it wrong. I'm not sure where we are.
Europa League.
It's like 7th or something. I'm not sure. 6th. I'm not sure.
We are actually we're 6th. Yeah, we're 6th.
Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, 6th.
9 points.
Yeah, so we're in a good position.
We're in a really good position. Yeah. So Young Boys are currently 22nd on 6 points, I believe. 6 points. So again, it just gives us that opportunity to really sort of keep within that top 6 bracket and just be clear of the. Because I know in Champions League last year we were 8th, weren't we? We just got through, which is an incredible achievement, really. But
Yeah. So we're going towards the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
A few more talking points. Did you know what your thoughts on Gerardo Seal, and do you know much about the Young Boys manager? There's a little research. There's not a great deal about him.
Yeah.
But he's quite young. He's fairly young, I think.
Yeah. How long has he been there for?
Not long, I guess. About a year or two. I think only a couple of seasons.
Okay. I mean, I think they obviously he got them into the Europa League. I think maybe his first season. Champions League last season, Europa League this season. So he seems fairly competent. I don't know too much about him. I know you probably know more. You've got a bit more research on him. But he seems fairly steady, and he seems to be connected with the club fairly well, and the fans seem to think he's okay, and so if he keeping them sort of on track for where they want to be. So it seems okay.
Well, no, I didn't read that. He actually played for the Deportivo La Coruña B.
Yes.
He played for them and Grasshoppers, I think.
Yes, back in I did see that.
Well, then you heard those. I've heard the Grasshoppers before.
Yeah, I've heard it on their Czech team or a Grasshoppers. Yeah, isn't he Spanish? Is he Spanish and Swiss, or is he just Spanish? Is he?
He's got dual nationality.
Okay.
There's two nationalities.
So I'm sure Emery's probably, look at Emery, he knows everybody. Emery probably knows you and me. He's probably got research on both of us. But I'm sure Emery, he knows him, and they'll probably speak and stuff, I'm sure, before and after the game.
As a coach or a manager, it's really good to speak different languages.
Yeah.
It's an important part of being a manager. You can learn languages. You look at Emery, he had to learn the languages here. The English, his English was always the best, but now his English is brilliant.
It's a lot better, isn't it? Yeah. It makes a big difference when you're trying to, put forward your ideas and plans to players and to staff, and to connect with the fans as well. It makes a difference for us. So I think Look, I think it'll be good for Gerardo Sioni, however you say his name. I think I'm sure he's looking forward to managing a team against Emery again, because look, Emery, regardless of what other opposition players and fans think, he is a class manager. So for other managers to have the chance to speak to him and to watch him, I'm sure he's looking forward to that. So no, I think he'll have this Swiss team, this young boys team, set up well. This manager, and I think I'm looking forward to seeing how he sets up with them.
Well, are we going to talk about John McGuinn then? So let's talk about. Have you watched the documentary?
I have. I watched both parts, Chad. Yeah, have you watched them?
Yeah. What did you ever thoughts of it? I think it's a great watch. Probably one of the best documentaries I watched. It's a real gripping documentary.
Do you know, Chad? It got me in the feels a bit, mate. I actually got quite emotional. I don't know if it's because I did not expect it. So, firstly, well done to Aston Villa Football Club, because that was a lovely bit of content that completely blindsided me, and I'm sure many other fans. And just seeing the clips from when he first came, when we were down in the doldrums in the Championship, seeing ex-players speaking about him. I don't know. I think because we've all been on this journey together, and John McGinn's been such a staple of that journey. It really resonated, and it just solidified even more why he's such an integral and important part of our club, mate. And for me, he's a legend. If he can lift the trophy with us, that's even more better. But even if he doesn't, I just think he's a legend. I love him.
Well, yeah, I think he'll go down as a club legend. There'll be years to come. People talk about John McGinn. Instead about a statue of Emery, there could be a statue of John McGinn as well.
Yeah, just a statue of John McGinn's backside. Yeah. I mean, yeah, mate. It was a beautiful video. And is it going to sound bad if I say that it made me want Jack Grealish back at the Villa? I'm over him.
That documentary saw that he had a real special relationship with Jack Grealish, and it's nice that Jack Grealish
took the time.
He contributed to it. The documentary, you see when they played together. They're sort of real jokers in the dressing room. And they knew each other's game inside out.
Yeah, and you could sort of see that on the pitch as well. Like when they would play together, it's always good. You can always tell players they get on when they connect on the pitch together. And I think it made me laugh as well when Grealish was like, the game last year that I went to when I was back for Christmas, and it was like, he was doing my head in, so he just puts him down on the floor, and it's those little things that are funny. But fair play to Jack for jumping on that and taking the time. And look, I'm over Grealish. I loved him at the Villa, but when I was watching it, I was like, I do miss that. I miss his personality at the club.
The thing is, Jack Grealish, he will always love Aston Villa.
Yeah, of course.
He always will.
But back to John McGinn, mate. I just thought as well, the ex-managers and Gordon Strachan and obviously the current manager Steve Clarke. Speaking about him, and he'd come from such humble beginnings, and he clearly worked hard. John McGinn, he's clearly worked hard at perfecting, his craft, and I just love him, mate. And I thought it was a really beautiful thing to have done from the club. So fair play to Villa. And
you have to give massive credit to Steve Bruce, because it wasn't to Steve Bruce. He probably would have went to Celtic again.
Yeah, massive kudos. I like Bruce at the Villa. I thought at the time, he did a job that we needed at the time, and he was unlucky not to get us promoted. But in hindsight, it was probably the best thing, because it then meant that we got rid of that owner that we had before, Dr. Jar, whatever his name was. But full credit to Brucey for bringing him in, and for what, 2.5 million. It's insane. The return on that.
Ian John McGuinn as well. But he went through not just good times, but he had some dark times in his career. But
Yeah.
the time with Steven Gerrard, I mean, it started off, well, at first, it's Steven Gerrard, because he made him captain, didn't
Yeah, he made him captain,
he?
and
But then, the only one is there, but then he started getting substituted. Like,
yeah,
he was he was getting booed sometimes. Like, there were hard times for him as well.
yeah, and that just shows the mental strength and the resilience that he's got within himself, to carry on and also to play for different managers, Bruce, Smith, Gerrard, and now Emery.
Emery, yeah.
And I think there was a lot of talk when Emery first came in. It was like, oh, is John McGinn going to be able to play in the Emery way? And I've seen John McGinn. I think we've all seen John McGinn go to levels that we didn't know he had.
Yeah.
He's always been a workhorse and worked hard, but now technically his game is so good. He's so clever. I think he's a very intelligent player. I don't think he always shows that, and which is quite good. He sort of goes under the radar, but I think he's a very intelligent player. And yeah, I'm just so glad he signed a new contract, and hopefully he retires at the Villa after
Because
lifting
not many players with Uno Emery that he's improved. He did it with John McGinn.
Yeah.
John McGinn can thank his manager quite a lot.
Yeah.
I think he's developed so much.
Yeah, and I think he alludes to that, doesn't he, in the interview? And I think he acknowledges that Emery's played a big part of him developing and maintaining that consistency as a player. And yeah, mate, I'm just so happy that we've got him and that he stayed. And super John McGinn, man, legend.
When he's with John McGinn, he always steps in up in the big moments. He scored like that the playoff final. That goal was it against PSG. He actually assisted Morgan Rogers in that PSG goal. He always seems to do it when it matters.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, he's a big game player. Like, well, any game. Like, everything you just said. Then the big games, he turns up playoff final, the first goal in the Premier League when we came back, PSG, and then also you think about that bad spell we had at the start of this season. He was instrumental in, like, he literally grabbed us and just with his performances and just pulled us through. And it was like, yeah, John McGinn, man, he gets it. He gets Villa. He gets us, and long may it continue.
The Scottish are not like under his raw passion. Because as well as Aston Villa, he also loves Scotland as well. Yeah. Because also he's a vice captain for Scotland, and he's actually contributed to get Scotland into the World Cup.
That's massive as well, mate. Like that can't be understated. Like, Scotland to be in their first World Cup since 1998, and John McGinn being an integral part of that, it just speaks volumes. And I think Emery and his Aston Villa performances under Emery have helped him, and with that have helped Scotland. Do you know what I mean? Like, so Villa and Scotland are just getting the best versions, because when he performs for Scotland, he comes back to Villa confident, and vice versa. And it's it's great to see.
So we've gone to a last question.
Yeah.
So let's describe John McGinn. So, what 3 words would you use to describe John McGinn, Aaron?
3 words for John McGinn. Okay, my 3 words for John McGinn have to be loyal, consistent, and funny.
They sort me really well. That sums it up really well.
Thank you. What about you? What would your 3 be, mate?
Okay, well, I've got down to backside.
Backside, great.
I got legend.
Yeah.
And leader.
Mate, they're really good. They're really good. Backside's the best one, but that's again sums up perfectly, mate. Yeah.
It comes in handy, his backside.
It does. I don't know how defenders haven't. I mean, they can't do anything, can they? He's been doing it for years, and no one can solve the solve the conundrum of John McGuinn's backside. So,
And very quickly, before we finish, do you see the new Birmingham City stadium? It looks like a Titanic.
Do you know what, mate? I text my mate who's a blue nose, and I did tell him. I said that stadium looks horrendous.
You
But
can't fault the ambition. You can't fault their ambition.
I have to be given a balanced and unbiased view. I have to say, I think for the city of Birmingham and for the area itself, it's going to be a really good thing. Birmingham's been struggling recently with the finances and stuff, and I do think that's going to really help. So look, they're playing catch up and fair play. It's just a shame that it looks like a circus tent, but look, that's what they want to do.
The chimney. I don't like the chimneys.
It's interesting. Look, I mean, it could look amazing when it's done.
Well, Industrial Revolution, it's supposed to be, isn't it?
Yeah, I get all that. It just the concept art. It might look better in person. I wasn't complete. Like if it was like amazing, then I'd hold my hands up and say, fair play, man. That looks good. But my initial thoughts were, I did not like the chimneys. I just thought it looked weird. I get what it's paying homage to, but it just looks weird. So the actual design, I'm not keen on, but in terms of what it could do for the city, then that's fair.
Because also, they need to get too ahead of themselves. They're going to get in the Premier League first.
Yeah, and look. Do I want our rivalry? Would I love them back in the Prem? I would love them in the Prem, but I would like to have I would like to have our rivalry back. And if it means they're going to be more competitive, then fair play. And it's going to bring it's going to bring about the football more in the West Midlands. So like for that side, I'm happy about it for that side of things. But for them and for the actual design, I wasn't really that impressed. But I'm sure things can change. Things can change, so we'll see what happens. But there might be in League One when it opens up, but we'll see.
Well, thank you, Aaron. Contribute to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to be back on, mate, and I'm glad that you have me.
Well, thank you everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this podcast, please remember to make sure to subscribe. Make sure to smash the likes. Give it a share on all your socials. And if you listen to the little audio, make sure to leave us a good review. That always helps. Make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, mate. And shout out to Cassandra. Great stream to us. And have a great week as well, Cassandra.
Yep, Cassandra, a good week. I'm going to wrap up this episode with Villa forever, as always, and up the Villa.